You started getting ready to work on the Little Lemon website, and now you're presented with findings about 5 users who gave their consent to be interviewed and observed while they were using it. This information gathering is called user research. It gives you valuable information into your customer experience as they order food and make reservations online. In other words, it helps determine who the user is. In this video, you will identify how you can use results from user interviews and observations in your design. You will also explore a customer journey map. Understanding and interpreting this data is key to identifying who your user is and to identifying and prioritizing their needs and goals. You'll see how that is achieved by compiling the results into a customer journey map, which you will learn more about soon. You are going to come across some terms like scenarios and segmentation, which you may not be familiar with, but don't worry about them now. They will be covered in subsequent readings. Be sure to check them after this. User interviews are an effective approach to learning more about how and what your users think and what their goals are. From the user interview data you got, it was clear that amongst some other issues, which you will explore later, customers were having difficulty completing a food order on the website. Adrian got consent from 2 more customers, so you could observe and interview them while trying to order a salad on the website. They were happy to participate and knew their data would be used to inform your redesigns. Let's examine the main issues that customers were having while attempting to order food. First, all participants found it difficult trying to find specific dishes. The menu button was not clearly identifiable, and once discovered, the drop-down provided was not categorized into food groups such as starters and main dishes. Second, it was discovered that the basket icon was not visible. Without the basket icon, one participant did not know whether they had added items successfully or not. This simple oversight forced the user to try to go back to the start again, only to find there was no back button or a way of navigating to the home screen, so they abandoned the task. Third, another participant eventually was successful in placing an order. However, they could not edit or update that order. For example, while observing the participant trying to order some food, it was noticed they wanted to add an additional ingredient to the dish. There was no ability to do this on the website. Finally, in another observation, the participant filled out all of their information on the sign-up form. However, they could not complete the order because of an error. They tried numerous times and kept getting a validation error. This was displayed only after they had entered in their information. Once again, they abandoned the task. You can explore these results in more detail in the additional readings. They contain valuable information about user research. Make sure to check them out. If you design without conducting user research, you end up making assumptions about your customers, which may cause your product to fail. Something that may seem logical to you in your experience and at the time of creation may prove unusable to another person. Remember the stages of the UX process you studied earlier? Designers empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Well, the importance of empathy and testing cannot be overstated. In this case, the ordering process proved almost impossible for the test participants to use successfully. This is great data for you to use in framing problems and ideating solutions. You can illustrate your participants' experiences through a customer journey map. It presents the steps someone takes to complete a task. You can identify their emotions along the steps as you track the UX goals. Let's explore a customer journey map illustrating their experience. Keep in mind that you should keep a record of the user's interactions and reactions as they perform each task. The customer enters the website and selects her meal. She wants to customize her order. She realizes she cannot. She abandons and picks up the phone to call Adrian. From the top down of the customer journey map, you can list the customer's name, image, scenario, and expectations. Next, you can list the steps she is trying to complete and track her thoughts and feelings. Enter the website, select and customize her order, add her details, and pay. As she goes along, the journey map captures what she does, what she thinks, says, and what her feelings are while interacting with the website. In the end, you have a useful set of takeaways that can help you empathize with the user to improve on your redesign. In this example, you are presented with data from 2 user research methods, interviews and observations. In this video, you identified how to use data from user interviews and observations and use this feedback to prioritize key takeaway opportunities to create your design. You also explored a customer journey map and how you can use it to visualize your customer tasks. Make sure to cover the additional readings to learn more about user research, interviews, and observations. They will better prepare you to redesign the Little Lemon website.